So we have bachelor degrees, postgraduate certificates, and a few master's degrees that we just launched. And they're within some of the top in-demand programs right now in Canada. So for example, business and economics, life sciences and the environment, so biology, psychology, environmental science, computer science and technology, as well as a number of social sciences and humanities. So that includes sociology, law, English, those types of programs. So if you do have an interest in those credentials or those types of programs, Algoma University would be a wonderful option for you. Does anyone have any specific questions before we start officially? Or did you want to introduce yourself, kind of explain your portfolio? Any questions prior to us starting? You're welcome to unmute yourself as well. No questions? That's totally okay. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'll monitor the chat section as well, just to see if we do have any questions. So you can put those in the chat. I'll get to them as they come in or after the session. But just again, thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited to talk a little bit more about Algoma University today and help you out with any questions that you may have. We do have one question in the chat. Yes. Hello, Jaden. I have a question. Hello. I'll give you a second to type. Yeah, absolutely. You could unmute yourself. That might be easier.
Hello. Am I
Hi,
audible?
Yes, you are.
Hi, I'm Umaima from Lahore.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I actually I wanted to ask a question. I've applied for a biology program in undergraduate
Okay.
in Algoma University.
Oh,
But I
wonderful.
didn't get my offer letter. It's been like 20 days I applied for the biology program.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
mind putting your, actually, let me just see if I could find it right now.
Yeah, please.
And good news is that her sister is already studying in Algoma University.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, my sister Mubara is studying in Algoma University, and she was one of the student in the award ceremony, the last award ceremony also.
really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What campus is she at?
She's in Sault Ste. Marie, the main campus.
Okay, that's where I am too. I'm in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found your application and I'm going to send this to your admissions officer right now. And we'll try to get a response as soon as possible, but I'll ask her to do it by end of day. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for unmuting yourself and letting me know that that was still pending.
Yeah.
Did you also apply to Sault Ste. Marie? Yes, you did. Perfect. So I'm at our Sault Ste. Marie campus. So if you do have any other questions, you're welcome to send me an email as well. I'll put my email in the chat.
Also, I gave the Duolingo test, Duolingo English test, and I scored 130 out of 160. Yeah, and I have emailed to the official Algoma University's
You
mail.
did. Yes, you did. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So we'll get that out to you by end of day.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much. And it's really nice to meet you as well.
Me too.
Okay. So I do see we have a few more people that joined the session. So
Yes,
just
I think you should. I think you should start your session.
sounds great. So Farouk, do you want me to start with the presentation and then we'll get to questions afterwards?
Yes.
Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session today. It's really nice to see you all. My name is Jaden Solo. I'm an international enrollment specialist at Algoma University. So I assist students through the process, international students through the process, if they do want to apply specifically to Algoma U. So I do something very similar to what Farouk does at Education Concern. Basically help you with any questions that you may have, assist with the application process. Even after you've applied, I'm still kind of a go-to person for you if you do have additional questions. So yeah, without further ado, we will get started with the presentation. Let me just share my screen. Before I do that, I'm just going to turn my camera off for the sake of bandwidth. Okay, perfect. So you should be able to see my screen here, just a presentation.
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Oh,
Oh,
I could kind of
I
hear
can
myself.
kind of hear myself.
Um, yeah. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I was just getting some feedback there. Awesome. So we'll get started. So as I said, I am from Algoma University. Algoma University is located within Ontario, Canada. We are a public university. Just to give you a few key points about Algoma U, we do have an average class size of about 28 students. So we are a medium-sized university. We have a 14:1 student to faculty ratio. So that's a very strong ratio. So at Algoma University, students do have more of a personalized learning experience. You get to participate in class discussions. You get to have very good professional relationships with your professors. That's something that you don't necessarily find at other larger universities. So that's something very unique that we offer. We have many flexible class schedule options and in addition to online options as well. We have a very vibrant student life, so lots of events that are planned for international students, just to give you that true Canadian Ontario experience. We have a very diverse student body. So a lot of Pakistani students, students from other South Asian, Southeast Asian countries, a variety of African countries as well, in addition to the Caribbean and Latin America. So we have one of the most diverse student bodies than any other university in Ontario. So it's something that's very celebrated and welcomed, not only at Algoma University, but in Canada as a whole. And then we do also offer very generous transfer credits. So if you have a partially completed degree or a diploma and you're applying to a bachelor's degree, you can receive credits for any courses that you've done right now within Pakistan. So to talk a little bit about our campuses now, because we do have two very diverse campuses. One of our campuses is Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. This is our first and largest campus. All of our programs are offered here. And then we do have a campus in Brampton, Ontario. This is about a 30-minute drive away from Toronto. So Toronto is one of the largest, most vibrant cities in all of Canada. You may have heard of Toronto before. but Brampton is more of that big city lifestyle. We do have a third campus in Timmins, Ontario, but only Sault Ste. Marie and Brampton is available to international students. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about these two campuses. At Sault Ste. Marie, everything is very conveniently located right on campus for students. So it's more of that university community. So right on campus, we have our full service gym, new state-of-the-art equipment. We have our residence. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. We have our cafeteria, our bookstore, our library, and all of the classrooms right on campus for you. To get from one side of campus to the next, it would probably take you about 10 minutes to walk. So it's a small campus, but everything is located right on campus for you. We have grocery stores and banks just a short walk away from campus as well. Sault Ste. Marie, it's a smaller, more northern Ontario city. So about 75,000 people live there. So it's not a teeny tiny city. It's still, it's smaller than Brampton, but still a fair size. But we do have big city vibes in Sault Ste. Marie, and we do still have a lot of larger industries. So there are job opportunities in Sault Ste. Marie. So that's not anything that you would have to worry about. To talk a little bit more, so this is actually a visual of our Sault Ste. Marie campus. So as you can see, this is all dedicated to our campus, this entire area. So we have classrooms here, our library and cafeteria are here as well. This is our gym. It's called the George Leach Center. We have a residence and another residence, and then more classrooms here. Large parking lot, tennis courts. So to get from one side to the other, like I said, about 10 minutes. So as you can see, everything is just really conveniently located right on campus for you. All right, now shifting gears, talking about our Brampton campus. So our Brampton campus is integrated right into the heart of downtown Brampton. We are located on one of the busiest intersections in downtown Brampton. So you are integrated right into the community. There's a lot of community members either going to work, a lot of other businesses nearby. So it's kind of a different vibe. However, we do offer the same facilities. So we have our student lounges and our classrooms right on this one square in downtown Brampton. We have a gym. It's a public gym, just a short walk away. We have a public library across the street, and we are surrounded by restaurants and shops for you to get food and drinks in between classes. So same facilities, but it's less of that university campus feel. So just to show you a visual of that, as you can see, downtown Brampton, tall buildings. We have classes in this building, we have some faculty offices here, and then also in this building as well. And then in building C here, we have our staff offices. So it's kind of spread out among downtown Brampton. Different vibes, but same facilities. Okay, so to talk about our programming now, we offer bachelor degrees, postgraduate certificates, and master's degrees. Here are a list of our bachelor degrees. We offer both 3- and 4-year degree options. Some of our top programming: computer science, life sciences and the environment, so specifically biology, environmental science, and psychology, and business. Within business, we have a few Bachelor of Arts options in accounting, economics, and finance. But then we also have a business administration bachelor's degree, and it has a number of specializations as well. In addition, we have social work, and we have a number of very vibrant humanities and social sciences as well. For our graduate certificates, we have both 1 and 2 year options, and they're kind of within the same faculties. So computer science, we have both a 1 and a 2 year option. For life sciences and the environment, we have health science and environmental science. For business, we have a 1 year in business, a 1 year in human resources, and then a 2 year in business and human resources. And then we also offer a cross-disciplinary program in project management. This project management program is quite unique in comparison to other universities because our program is 2 years in length. Other universities, it's usually only 1 year in length. So you really get to benefit from that longer postgraduate work permit. And then in addition to our graduate certificates, we just launched 2 master's degrees. So we have a Master of Science in Biology and then a Master of Computer Science as well. Now to talk about our admission requirements. So if you are applying to a bachelor's degree and you have just finished high school, these are the overall averages that we do need to see. So for business administration, Bachelor of Science, and social work, we'll need to see at least 50%. And then for all other programs, 40%. If you are a Cambridge Pearson student and you are doing your A-levels, we'll want to see at least 4 subjects in advanced subsidiary of at least D. Or if you've done your A2 levels, we'll want to see at least 2 subjects of at least D. Okay. If you are an IB student, for all programs, minimum 26 points we'll need to see. And then to talk a little bit about our scholarships, because we do have specific scholarships for both A-level and IB students. Our scholarships range from 500 to 5,000 Canadian dollars. So minimum requirement for a scholarship, if you are an A-level student, is 2 Bs. Minimum requirement for a scholarship for an IB student is 28 points. I do see, Mohammed, you have your hand up. If it's okay, we'll just wait until after the presentation, and then we'll go through all of the questions afterwards. If you want, you can put your question in the chat, and then I'll answer it afterwards. Thank you so much. Okay, so those are the admission requirements from high school, Cambridge Pearson, and IB. Now to talk about our graduate certificate admissions, if you're coming from a bachelor's degree. So we look at your overall average from your bachelor's degree. For business and IT, we need to see an overall average of 40%. For human resources and business and human resources and project management, at least 50%. And then for our science programs, at least 60%. When it comes to admissions for our master's degrees, the admission requirement is significantly higher than that of a graduate certificate. Additionally, students can be admissible to a master's degree. However, because we do have more limited seats, it is more competitive. So you can be admissible, but that doesn't mean that you would be granted admission. So just keep that in mind. And we do have some prerequisites as well if you are applying to usually our business or our science programs or computer science. So if you're applying to a bachelor's degree, we will need to see some courses within grade 12. So for business administration, we need 1 math. For any of our Bachelor of Sciences, we need 2 sciences, and then we'll also need 1 math for biology and environmental science. And then for computer science or any of our business arts options, we'll need 1 math. For our graduate certificates in business, we do need to see math in either your bachelor's degree or in grade 12. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we talked about our campuses, our programs, and our admission requirements. Now we're going to shift gears a bit and talk about our tuition and fees, because you could be interested, you could be admissible, but there are still quite significant fees when it comes to studying as an international student in Canada. The great thing about Algoma University is that we offer the lowest international student fees than any other university in Ontario. So our fees are comparable to that of a college, but you are receiving a university level credential. So for 1 year, it's approximately 22,000 Canadian dollars. That's about 16,000 USD. That includes your tuition. It includes all of those other non-academic fees and also your health insurance. So extremely affordable to study at Algoma University as an international student. If you apply to Algoma U and you receive a letter of acceptance, we will require a tuition deposit prior to you applying for your visa, and this secures your seat in the program. For bachelor degrees, it's 1 semester, so about 11,000. For our graduate certificates, it's about a 1 year tuition deposit. Okay, so we do have scholarships as well. So as I said earlier, our scholarships range from 500 to 5,000 Canadian dollars. There are a few criteria that you must meet in order to receive these scholarships. So firstly, you must be applying to a bachelor's degree. Secondly, you must have completed your previous education within 1 year of applying. And thirdly, you must meet an academic requirement. So minimum requirement for a scholarship is 50% overall average from high school. And the good thing about these scholarships is that there's no cap on the amount of scholarships that we give out. If all students are eligible for this scholarship, all students will get it. And a good thing to note that only our top scholarship, the Chancellor's Award of $5,000, is renewable each year. The rest of them are just a one-time scholarship upon application. So those are our scholarships for bachelor degrees. We also do have scholarships for our 2-year graduate certificates. So we offer automatically a $6,000 scholarship towards 2-year graduate certificate programs. So that's $3,000 per year. All students receive this scholarship. So that's why your tuition deposit, instead of being the full fee of $22,000, it would now be $19,000 because we deducted that $3,000. And then for our 1-year scholarships, our 1-year graduate certificates, there are not any scholarships at this time. But that's just an additional benefit of taking a 2-year program. You get the longer work permit after graduation, and you get the $6,000 scholarship. So definitely something to consider. And for postgraduate work permit, which is PGWP, for 2-year programs, you receive 3-year PGWP, 1-year programs, 1-year PGWP. We offer a foundation program. It's called the Algoma University Access Program, and this is offered to students who almost meet the admission requirement, but don't quite meet the admission requirement, usually within about a 5% range below the minimum requirement of admission. The thing with this program, it's only offered in the fall and only offered in Sault Ste. Marie. So you would have to start in September to take this program. If there are any O-level students here, so those are students who just completed their IGCSE, we will accept you into the foundation program if you received at least 5 Bs in your IGCSE courses. So you don't have to do your A-levels. You can finish your O-levels and then proceed to Algoma University afterwards. So I described this a little bit earlier, but we do offer transfer credits. So if you are a university transfer, so that means if you have started a bachelor's degree in Pakistan and you want to transfer and finish your bachelor's degree at Algoma U, or if you've done a diploma in Pakistan and then you want to receive a bachelor's degree at Algoma U, you can transfer and receive credits for those courses that you have completed in Pakistan. So we will look at the Canadian equivalent, and you need to achieve at least a C+ of the Canadian equivalent. So in Canada, a C+ is very easy to achieve. So you most likely would receive credit for the courses that you've completed if you passed. So that's a great option. If you maybe are in the middle of a bachelor's degree, or if you just have a diploma and you want to upgrade your credentials, this is a great option to consider. And I promised I would talk a little bit more about accommodation. So we do have a residence right on campus in Sault Ste. Marie. Students are offered a private room with a shared washroom with one other student. We have weekly cleaning services. We have meal plans. Every floor of the residence has a student lounge. We also have access, or you also would have access to a full service kitchen. It's very, very safe. So we have 24/7 security on campus, and we have 24-hour video surveillance in our common areas, like our student lounges. So this is only in Sault Ste. Marie. If you are staying in Brampton, we offer a housing program. It's through the Canada Homestay Network, and you basically would stay with the host family and receive a certain amount of meals per day. That's up to you. And then if you don't want to use that option, we do have a housing team. So they help students find off-campus living if you would prefer to rent from a local landlord. So a lot of support with finding accommodation at Algoma U. And then we do have a number of student jobs on campus as well. We have a lot of international students that are employed by Algoma University. So for example, within my department, we have recruitment assistants, we have a marketing assistant. Right now, we have 4 students working for us just in Sault Ste. Marie, and then we have another 4, I believe, in Brampton. And we're just one department. There are dozens of departments that you can work for. So I work in recruitment and admissions. We have jobs in student success, the registrar's office, IT, the library, at our gym. So lots of options. We also have a students union. They have paid positions as well. And then we have a variety of societies within our different faculties. Those aren't paid positions, but they're very wonderful networking opportunities. We also have co-op. We have a co-op option for every degree program at Algoma U. So you can do up to 12 months of paid co-op. So that's paid work experience all before you graduate. And then we do also have internship opportunities, but those are usually unpaid. However, really great work experience. Awesome. So I am nearing the end of my presentation. I know that was a lot of information, but I just want to finish with a few Algoma U advantages and then some important dates as well. So our intakes, we have 3. So fall, winter, and spring. So if you do need to defer for any reason, you just have to wait 4 months. You don't have to wait 8 months or 1 year. For our processing time, sorry, this is 1 week, but it's actually 3 to 4 weeks processing time. So sorry for that error. but it's still quite quick in comparison to other universities. For required documentation, we try to make it as easy as possible for you. So we just need to see unofficial transcripts from all previous education, a gap explanation or a CV if you have been out of school for more than 2 years, an English language test, and a passport. So that's it at the time of application. We also have a very generous deferral policy. So after you have paid a tuition deposit, you are able to defer as many times as required until you are ready to start your studies. And then for study gaps, they will not affect your admission. So if you have been out of school for example, let's just say 5 to 10 years, that will not affect your admission to Algoma U. And lastly, to talk about some important dates, we are now accepting applications for our fall September 2024 term. Application deadline is April 22nd, 2024. So still tons of time to get your application in. And Farouk at Education Concern and his team is more than happy to assist you through that application process. We do have a tuition deposit deadline that is June 3rd. After that, you would apply for your visa and you would have to show proof of your visa application by June 26th. After that, we do want to see proof of your visa stamp as well. The deadline for that is July 31st, and then you will be starting your courses on September 4th, 2024. Okay, so that is the end of my presentation. If there are any questions, I think I do see some in the chat right now. So yeah, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat right now, just because we are a larger group. So I do see a student asking, are there any PhD programs? So at Algoma University, no, we do not offer any PhD programs. A student sent me a direct message. So Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Business Administration fee structure is the same. Correct. So for all of our programs, the tuition and fees, all of that is the exact same. Masters of Science in Clinical Psychology, unfortunately not. I do believe we have a Master's in Clinical Psychology in the developmental stages right now. However, only biology and computer science at this time. Is there a medical or MD available? Great question. So we do not offer medicine at Algoma University. However, when it comes to a long-term degree in medicine, it is quite a lengthy process if you do want to study within that field. So for example, you would need to start with an undergrad, then you would need to apply to medical school afterwards or do a master's degree, and to even practice in Canada, you would need to be a Canadian citizen. But you could still start with an undergrad in biology. So we offer a Bachelor of Science in Biology that is a common undergrad for students to take if they do want a long-term career within the healthcare field. So that is available. Oh, so just another question. I had applied for May intake 2023 in biology. The deadlines had crossed. I don't know if you mean 2024. The deadlines had crossed with December 11th. Yes. No worries there. So, Yumema, I think you're concerned because for September, it opened November 20th. But for May, applications closed December 11th. I think that's what you mean, but don't worry at all. Your application is for May 2024. And I also received a response from your admissions officer, and she said that she will take a look today at your application. So I'll make sure that that gets out to you by today. But yes, I can confirm it is for May 2024. After tuition deposit, how much time the embassy take to decision? Farouk, do you know the normal processing times right now for visa?
Yes, it's about 21 days to 1 month, sometime 1.5 months. This is the average time.
Awesome. That's not too bad. 21
Yes.
days. Yeah, not
Yeah.
bad at all. I do have another question. It's a direct message, fees installments. So that's a great question. So no matter what, your full tuition deposit is required at the time of receiving your letter of acceptance in order to confirm your seat and apply for your visa. If you do want to pay in installments, that's okay. You can do that. However, you just wouldn't be confirming your seat and you wouldn't be able to apply for your visa until the full tuition deposit is received. After that, you would just pay on a semester by semester basis. So it would be about that 11,000 Canadian dollars per semester. And those semester fees can be paid up until the start date of classes, because once that first day of classes hits, then you'll start to incur interest on that semester fee if you have not paid it. There are some other payment plans that you could coordinate with our financial aid office. That comes after the fact, though. It comes after you have started your studies. So you don't need to worry about that at the time of application, but that's usually how the process works. Have you sent my Duolingo test along with my other application to the admissions officer? If you sent it via email, Yumima, then we would have it on file for you. However, after this session, I will make sure that all of the required documentation is on file for you. So don't worry at all. I will make sure that today we will have that settled for you. But after this session, I'll check it all out and make sure it's all okay. And I have your email as well. So I'll send you an update today. More direct messages. MBA in International Business available. No, we don't offer an MBA at this time, but trust me when I say that I am pushing for an MBA, because we do have a lot of students that are interested in that program. But for master's degrees, only biology and computer science at this time. Oh, good question. Alumni network. Yes. So we do have a very active alumni council at Algoma University. We have an entire department dedicated to this as well. It's our advancement department. So they keep very, very close relationships with our alumni. For example, I am an alumni of Algoma University, and I do receive regular emails and mail that comes to my mailbox at my house from the Alumni Association. They just had a dinner a few weeks ago. All of the alumni of Algoma University came together. So yes, a very strong alumni network at Algoma U. September 2024, how much dollars in GIC account? Do you know this one, Farouk?
Yes, there's a very hot news. The GIC amount is going to increase from 10,000 to 20,635. Yes, and Mr. Ben said that he will try to contact to immigration authorities on so that there should be any decrease. But few days ago there was a news that this is going to increase, so it's almost double, more than double.
Wow.
So
okay.
For September, the GIC amount will be $20,635.
Okay, thanks, Farouk.
But student, please don't worry. Maybe in few days, I mean 1.5 week, 2 weeks, there can be a good news introduction this week. But so keep in touch, and we will update you. And start praying.
Thank you. So next question, is there a Duolingo test acceptable for admission in masters? Yes, absolutely. I'll put the Duolingo requirements in the chat. So it's an overall score of 110 with no band lower than 100. And I'll also put a link to our graduate programs in the chat as well, so you can look through them. All of the admission requirements are on these web pages. Is there any government university for MD or medicine? Yeah, absolutely. So there are other universities within Ontario and Canada that do have medicine programs. So that could be like a biomedicine, a pre-med undergraduate degree, or even master's degree. So although we don't offer this at Algoma University, Farouk can still help you connect with other universities within Canada that do offer this program for you. Absolutely. Oh, I just received a direct message. So Yumema, just looking at the background that you sent, you would absolutely I'll send you an email after just because it has more specifics, but yes, absolutely. Admission, no problem at all. When it comes to scholarships, I'm actually not too sure exactly how much you would get, but that would be located on your letter of acceptance. So when you receive the letter of acceptance today, your scholarship will be on that. So you'll be able to take a look. Once your admissions officer assesses your application, I will send you a separate email just to make sure that everything's okay, all of your questions are answered. But yeah, absolutely. With your background, your grades look quite strong, so I wouldn't worry about it at all. Kindly share available master's program list. So I just put the graduate programs link in the chat. I will also send it directly to you, Zishan. Just one question. It was a direct message. I completed my degree in Bachelor of Commerce, a 4-year program. Now I want to study in Canada. So I would recommend a graduate certificate. We have some that are more relative to business. We have a 2-year in business and human resources. And then we also have a 2-year in project management. So those are the 2 that I would recommend. You would be eligible for our 3-year postgraduate work permit after you graduate from Algoma University. So those would be perfect options for you because it gives you an upgrade, kind of a top up to your bachelor's degree. It gives you a competitive advantage when it comes to applying for jobs after graduation. It prepares you for the workforce. And you can have 5 years in Canada as well. And then you can apply for permanent residency afterwards as well. So a ton of benefits, and you would receive our $6,000 scholarship. So, Ali, those would be my recommendations for you. And if you do want to submit an application, then Farouk can assist you through that process
Yes.
quite simply. So, yeah. How many marks are required for the PTE test in bachelor's degree? I believe it's 60, but let me just...
60.
60, perfect. Thank you so much, Farouk. I will put the English language requirement link in the chat right now as well, just so you can all look at that. And we accept a number of English language tests. They're all listed on this webpage, and all of the requirements are on this webpage as well. So we also accept Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, Pearson. If you've done IB or A levels, so Cambridge Pearson, you could receive a waiver of the English language test if you received a certain mark in your IB or A levels. So just look through that webpage and let me know if you have any other questions. I usually recommend like Duolingo, but sometimes with visa applications, you require an IELTS or a PTE. So all of our options are on the webpage. How much IELTS score required for a bachelor's degree? Overall 6.0 with no band below 6.0. It needs to be an academic IELTS as well. We do not accept general training.
Okay.
Oh, what is the CGPA acceptable for master's admission out of 4.0? That's a great question. I'm actually not exactly sure what it would be, but you know what? I am going to ask, we do have an admissions email address for our graduate program. So if you want, you could send your bachelor degree transcripts to our graduate admissions team, and they can let you know if you would be admissible to the program prior to you even applying.
Yes, it's about 3 CGPA out of 4.
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Awesome. So that's the email address, graduateadmissions@algomau.ca. I'll wait for more questions to come in. People might be typing right now. What's the scholarship there to get admission in Algoma University? So if you are referring to our bachelor degree scholarships, we have entrance awards. So they range from 500 to 5,000 Canadian dollars. So we do look at your high school grades. That is kind of the requirement. So it is an academic requirement. So we'll look at your overall average from your grade 12 year, and you would need at least a 50% in order to receive a scholarship. And then as your percentage increases from there, the scholarship would go up. So it's 500, 1,000, 2,500, and then 5,000. So those are our bachelor degree scholarships. For our graduate certificates, we offer a scholarship for the 2-year programs, and that is $3,000 per year. So those are our scholarships. Psychology or biology is best in your opinion, ma'am? Those are 2 in-demand programs right now, and they are 2 of our top programs at Algoma University. So if you are interested in either psychology or biology, then I think that would be a great option for you. If you're comparing the 2, psychology versus biology, they're very, very different. So it all depends on your interests. But regardless, both great programs, both in demand right now, and a number of job opportunities afterwards, or continuing your education options as well. So yeah, two great programs. I do have a student asking about the visa approval rate. It's hard to kind of say the rate just because everything is up to the Canadian government. It's up to our Canadian immigration officers. We don't really have any pull on their decisions. It's completely up to them. However, what I would recommend is to apply through the assistance of Education Concern, because they can help you through that process as well to make sure that you are successful as possible, and to get the most positive outcome. So that would be my recommendation to you when it comes to applying to Algoma University and applying for your visa.
Yes, and we will not charge any service fees from the Algoma University students. So, dear students, feel free to contact me. You will have our full service from applying admission to applying visa without charging any consultancy fee or any service fees.
Okay, awesome. That's great. But yeah, I know there could be usually a lot of questions when it comes to applying for a visa, just because there's so many requirements. So it's honestly best to do it with someone that has done it so many times and understands the requirements of the process. So that would be my recommendation to get the most favorable outcome from your visa. Okay, if there are any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Just in case if people are typing, I'll give it a second. Any other questions? I haven't seen any come through the chat.
I think you covered each and everything in a very nice way. So things are simple and understandable. And dear student, please feel free to ask any question, even in Urdu, and you can unmute. And we will apply your visa under SDS policy student directs to you, in which you just need to fulfill 3 basic requirements, like English test, 1 year tuition fees in advance, and depositing of GI living cost in a Canadian bank. And due to this, there's no need to show your parents' bank statement, and you will get your visa without any interview within a month, 1.5 months. And we will help you in applying your admission, opening out your bank account in Canada, police report, medical, and visa application.
All right, I don't see any other questions in the chat, but please feel free to put them in the chat now or unmute yourself. Okay, we did get another question. What's the deadline to get admission in the university? So the great thing about Algoma U is that we do have rolling applications. So right now we are accepting applications for the September term until April 22nd. And let's just say if you don't meet the April 22nd deadline, then you wouldn't meet the September intake, but you would just be considered for the January intake. So we always are accepting applications. So if you don't meet one deadline, you'll just be considered for the next term. And that also counts for our tuition deposit deadline and our visa stamp deadline. If you maybe apply by April 22nd, but you aren't able to pay your tuition or provide your visa stamp by a specific deadline, you would just be deferred to the next available intake. So it's just rolling applications. Okay, it seems like we just hit the 11 a.m. mark. So if there are any additional questions, please let me know.
Yes, thank you very much. And I hope we will have another session in the after New Year, and Happy New Year from our side.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to plan another event like this in the new year.
Yes.
January, totally free. So just let me know what works best
Good.
for you, and then we'll schedule
Okay.
something.
And
But
when
yeah,
are you
happy
going?
New Year.
Yeah, and when are you going on holidays?
So Friday is is my last day. So this Friday. But
Okay.
next Friday is the normal time that we're all going on holidays.
All
And then we'll
right.
be back on January 4th. Yeah. So about 2 weeks we'll be on holidays. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Farouk. And thank you everyone for joining this session. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about Algoma University today. Once again, if you do have any questions, you're more than welcome to contact me at Algoma University or Farouk at Education Concern. Farouk is an awesome resource. He knows so much about Algoma U. So he's great to go to for any questions that you may have. But if I don't speak to any of you students or you, Farouk, in the next week or so, then I do wish you a happy new year. And we'll see you in January for another session.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. But before we do conclude the session, are there any additional questions? Okay, it doesn't seem like there's any additional questions coming through. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Farouk.
Most welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I
Have a
hope
nice-
yeah.
Enjoy
hope
your
everyone has a
holidays.
great day. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Dear students, I'm still available for a few more minutes. तो कोई क्वेश्चन आपके ज़हन में हो तो कर सकते हैं.
Thank you, sir.
जी ये आपको यस ये आपको मेरा व्हाट्सएप नंबर, ईमेल एड्रेस, ये सब कुछ आपके सामने है. आपने मुझे कांटेक्ट करना है तो प्लीज फील फ्री टू कांटेक्ट मी. ओके
Okay.
ओके जी, अब इस इवेंट को फिनिश करते हैं. अल्लाह हाफिज.
Love you, sir.
व्हाट्सएप कॉल कर सकते हैं 10 AM to 6 PM. और हाँ, आप में से किसी ने भी आइल्स करना है ऑन कैंपस या जूम के ऊपर ऑनलाइन, सो आप हमारी ऑनलाइन क्लासेस भी रन कर सकते हैं आइल्स की. वी हैव वेरी गुड टीचर और बहुत अच्छा उनका है रिजल्ट. सो अगर आपने किसी ने आइल्स करना हो तो मुझे व्हाट्सएप पे रब्ता कर सकते हैं. अपना नाम छोड़ दें आइल्स का वर्ड लिखकर, या चैट बॉक्स में, इसी जूम चैट बॉक्स में अपना नाम और टेलीफोन नंबर छोड़ दें और लिख दें आइल्स, तो आपको कल टीचर कॉल कर लेंगे. ओके जी, अल्लाह हाफिज.
Love you, sir.